M80 versus 2Game Esports. Wait, is that really their name? One of the most dominant teams in Tier 2 Valorant history, many's favorites to be promoted to franchising, versus a team formed less than a year ago? With 1/5 of the experience as their opponents? This, my friends, is an underdog story for the ages. In this best of 5 series of the America's Ascension Grand Finals, Map 1 went in favor of the Brazilian Dark Horses 13-5. But that was merely a wake-up call as M80 conquered the next 2 games, but then 2Game Esports, man, they really need to change that name, stole M80's Haven. Which brings us here to Bind. Under this amount of pressure, a game that would fulfill these players' lifelong dreams, surely M80 form into diamonds, right? Wrong. Because just 1 week before, 2Game Esports upset M80, knocking them to lowers, meaning that Brazil determined every ban of this best of 5. And they purposely left Bind. But why? Well, throughout M80's entire existence, they have banned it every single match. By pushing this series to 5, 2Game Esports have exposed M80's Achilles heel, their kryptonite. And my god, was it ugly. But how could such a dominant force be this damn bad at one of Valorant's original maps, Bind? Well, in this video, I'm breaking down this bloody Brazilian beatdown and how basic Bind fundamentals cost M80 their lifelong dreams. So the thing about players that are aspiring to make it to Tier 1 is that they're playing from all parts of the world, meaning that some servers might be more beneficial for others. And to get the best connection possible, some of them use network optimizers like exit lag. I've personally used this service several times throughout my own competitive career. Like, I've given exit lag a lot of my own money. They offer a ton of different online service solutions from AI routes optimization, a dynamic stabilizer, diagnostic center, and all while supporting over 2,000 games. Their scalable infrastructure supports 1,000 servers across 5 continents and has 18 million weekly optimizations. Meaning, you'll never have poor performance in ranked, no matter where you live. And setting up is so easy that a Reina main can do it. Just head to their website, create an account, download exit lag, which takes a second, and install. Then you just pick almost any game your heart desires, select your ideal routing, apply, and the numbers speak for themselves. But wait, there's more! Exit lag also features multiplayer plans, a duos one for you and your pal, or even a squad plan for up to 5 players. So if you want to support me and guarantee to fix your network issues, check out my link in the description, as Exit Lag is having a fire sale where all annual plans are half off if you use my link, including those multiplayer plans. Now, let's get back to the breakdown. Despite never playing Bind in an official, okay, just one time, but for the purpose of the story, I'm not counting it, M80's pistol round looks solid.
Teets, that's not a good setup. Raze is all by herself. If 2G go A, she's going to get run over.
If I could just go one video without you interrupting me. This 4-stack is what makes their hold so great. On defense, you'll either have 2 or 3 players on each site, depending on the info you have. Did someone get tagged on long? Well, get the 3rd person there and bunker down to control that piece of the map so you can have an easier retake. But with the teleporters, everything changes. Notice how Net's wall extends from hookah into long. Wait, why is there such a huge gap? I'm sure this won't cost them, right? And it covers showers as well. With it, Nismo and BCJ have a couple options. They can allow the offense to scale up long and both flash simultaneously to create a disgusting combo. Either shoot Dizzy and get blinded, or dodge the bird and get gooped on. Or they can do the same thing but through the teleporter. Koala's job is to signal to his long players when they should take the teleporter and crunch on any attackers taking showers. And Net puts his wall up and it is a meat grinder. Then, by placing both anchors in hookah, almost every lane is being heavily contested by the defense. M80 hold on to long, hookah, or shower, and just hold out until it's time to retake. And like I said, for a team that never practiced this map, this is a fantastic setup. But this wall could be lined up better. Anywho, 2G are running on a B in a standard 3-2 split, and are putting the 4-stack to the test. Game 5 of Ascension Finals opens up with the offense trotting up long, Zap releases his Trailblazer, Xander smokes, but both teams get ready to trade flashes.
Has been on the attack side, ready to kick things off right here.
Aggressive setup here for M80 over towards the octagon. Wall goes up to the defense with delay recovery immediately. Paint shells are out. Spam from both sides, but the ball comes through, and it's this even trades back and forth. Pinstripe goes to kill feed. Numbers in favor, though, of the offense. Molly at play. Squeezing Xander, trying to fight this one out. Not the greatest molly you've ever seen, but Xander still tries to step up and take the fight. Doesn't work out.
M80's plan was great, but one crack in the dam can lead to a flood of problems. Now, initially, it wouldn't look like this gap in the wall would become such a big issue, but if M80's plan is to fight long with flashes, that just isn't going to work. Silence didn't get blinded, and the defense were so worried about spamming this wall that the rest of the offense were able to recover and punish them. And that was just one of the possible disastrous outcomes. Imagine M80 needed to re-clear long late in the round and have their wall up. This bird wouldn't mean anything because there'd still be a decently big question mark in this corner. It's kind of a lurk wall for the attackers to use. Then your rotates aren't going to be in the right spot. You can get backstabbed or give free info to the offense. This wall is dookie. And I mean, this is the biggest match of your lives. And you know you're probably going to have to play the map you've banned your entire career. Surely we take the time to hop into a custom and learn a Viper wall. And maybe this one that doesn't have that big ass hole in it. I mean, it's searchable on YouTube. Just look it up. Just me? Got it. Okay, whatever. Now only armed with the Sheriff, Koala Noob is tasked with the impossible.
It's Koala Noob, who's played a lot of Yoru and a lot of Omen, now finds himself on Raze. What can he do with this agent at hand? The answer in this round is nothing particularly captivating as 2G pulled the numbers and
M80 actually had a decent plan on the Rico. Combine their flashes and swing, but they got a little unlucky.
The defensive side, they wanted to bring the fight in the first round. They do so in the second round.
A pro tip, if you're ever getting killed by people that are full blinded, you should jump around the corner instead. But they also got stunned by the dog, so it didn't really matter. It was a good plan regardless. But now, it's M80's first full buy. A must-win if they don't want to start this game down at a huge disadvantage. Their plan? Simple. Raze and Brimstone anchored on Shower, while Viper helps both initiators lock down Hookah and Long, both info gatherers here. Shouldn't you want to separate them to get info everywhere? Shouldn't Raze be the rotator? I mean, I guess with the teleporters, it's not that big of a deal, but what about 2G's lurk wall? Speaking of, their plan is to default into Hookah, keep the 3-stack on B, but scurry back onto A. The round starts with each team grabbing their own part of the map. M80 taking Long and Shower with their smokes, while 2G set up their lurk smokes for Hookah and Short. As soon as this smoke gets dropped, any outside support from site is lost, forcing the Hookah player to leave or get traded. And then anything could be behind this smoke. Nismo flees, but so did the offense. They're headed back to A and up short as 5, using their Viper smokes to conceal their movement.
Now, over to this walk up on Short. Maintaining Showers is great. They still have great delays possible with Koala Noob's paint shells and the mollies.
Man drops in, Molly tries to push it for Xander, but the push out is dramatic from 2G.
Now, I tried really hard to criticize M80's setup with the initiators both on the same side, but I don't think that would have changed a whole lot. I mean, after losing Hookah, Nismo did do a good job at clearing it out early enough with his dog, and M80 knew when A play was coming. Viper even had a head start. The problem stems from the way these two were holding Showers. Their goal was to hold on to the space, deploy a mid-side smoke that should make it more uncomfortable to wrap A, and stall the plant long enough so that rotates could come in and retake, which is pretty standard. By holding onto one of the three, lamps, backside, or Showers, your team can then break down the site and take it back piece by piece. But do both Brimstone and Raze need to throw their Molly and paint shells at the same time? Well, why not Raze nade for the instant plant cancel, and then Brim can hold for her in case they're getting swung? And if you slow down even further, Brim might have just been peeking with his Molly out. I mean, just one of them needs to be ready to shoot. With those kills, 2G's bonus has essentially transformed into a full buy, and the rest of M80 are forced to start the retake from spawn, which isn't easy as 3 people.
A couple of weapons. 2G looking good so far through the first 3. Follow-up attempt for M80 through heaven. If they can find a couple of picks, maybe there's a chance to try to play recovery, but the post-plant setup is deep. Decent spam coming out, but Spikes just pushes out away from it. Turns that in for a 1-for-1 trade, and from that point on, M80 will just have to sit and save.
After realizing M80 were contesting Shower heavy last round, 2G got an idea. If the defense want to contest this area, then let's bring the fight to them. Then in the future, they won't feel as confident to contest. So the offense are geared up to split A in an unorthodox 1-4 split, but the defense are forcing behind their save rifles and plan on triple swinging long, fighting, flanking, and their 2 anchors are going to try and slow the offense down on A. But okay, this is a head scratcher. With Brim and Lamps with a Judge and Net starting back sight, the only thing they're stalling is a guaranteed round loss. If M80 want this 3-stack to get any value, they're going to need time to cook since they're starting on the opposite side of the world. So why not play up and put yourself in a position to molly, then fall back to these spots? Why give up all this map control for nothing? Both teams open round 4 by swinging opposite extremities, but M80 smoke Shower. Wait a second, why? Did they change their wall? Okay, well, we couldn't figure out how to make a cut through Showers, like every other pro team in the world can do, so fuck it, I guess. Don't think this wall would slow the offense down a tad? It's not perfect, but why not use it? Instead, Xander's forced to burn a smoke that he could use on short, and to the attackers, this feels like someone could be here, similar to last round. So 2G gather into the smoke, and LZ stimulates Zap's Trailblazer. This thing is basically on coke, blazing through shower, around triple, finally spotting net back sight.
This U-Haul position, wingman at range, just getting his steps in, trying to get to work on the plan, and we'll be fine for it.
The good news is that the plan is there for the spam play, the lineups play, where either are going for a triple flank. Xander has to stay alive in U-Haul with his judge.
Does well, does better than well.
Because this Tiger got so deep, just look at how much map control 2G had access to. Smokes for spawn and heaven. Net was forced to back out, leaving Xander all by himself. After clearing all of A, the offense knew someone had to be in there, and by Raze boombotting him from the back and mollying from the front, the poor guy thought he was being pinched and had to swing one side. But that's not the worst part. Because sight was so free, 2G are now expecting a flank.
Lead elimination plus damage on the more. Fries flashed out of position, has to give up the angle. Three-man stack here for M80, but Luis turns and finds two, make it all three. Last player left is Koala Noob, who just has to back away to salvage the Vandal.
Well, we can't see those shots for ourselves, but this round went from winnable to not in an instant, and now has turned into a game of keep away featuring Koala Noob's Vandal.
Gets contact on the play, nullifies the flash coming through from Nismo, and pulls up the wall so that everybody can just be focused on looking towards U-Haul while Luis had the lineup.
M80 take an early timeout to stop the bleeding. Coach, we're off to a slow start. What should we do? Maybe we can push mid. Where the fuck is mid on this map? Coming out of the timeout, I don't even know what M80 could have talked about. It's pretty early. Maybe their coach gave them a pep talk or something. But what I do know is that they aren't using that garbage Viper wall from before. No one on the team knows the meta one. Regardless, because Silence was farming ecos and Spike's been getting so many plants, 2G has two big ults online heading into probably the do or die round for M80. The offense's money is just spiraling out of control, and if the defense lose, it's going to be another eco, meaning probably another round loss. Their plan for this critical full buy is similar to Pistol. 4-stack on B, get ready to teleport, and help Raze on A. The only difference is that Viper has a full kit and can stall by herself in hookah, and instead Brim is skipping across long and is ready to fight with his friend's flashes. Now, coming out of the timeout, 2G's plan is to split B quick, and I don't think their Showstopper or Thrash are going to care about a bunch of stupid flashes. Now, M80 don't know it yet, but they are screwed. Because as soon as the buy barrier drops, LZ launches a molly lineup that lands right in the entrance to elbow. M80 are now trapped. Leaving would result in significant damage, meaning that they have to fight these two ults head on.
Ready. Mosh dropped. M80 trying to hold the line here at B long, and no one checks for Xander in the corner. He's able to teleport back if he needs to, but Silence, he's able to get over through hookah, make a mess of this setup, and find three of his own.
Now, this is the problem with making such small mistakes in Valorant. The wall on pistol, and no one holding for the showers push, M80 lost two big rounds, allowing 2G to farm up these ults, which overwhelmed the four-person hold. And I wish we had a better view of the replay. Maybe some crazy shots were involved, but Viper had no chance of holding hookah. She got detained, and BCG's heroics were duked on by this spray transfer. But Xander did pick up multiple frags, making it winnable for Koala Noob. But like, this dude's got so much to clear out. 2G could be anywhere. And Thrash is coming back soon. How in the world is he pulling this off?
Doesn't care about the boombox. And it's just a pause. Koala Noob. Oh, he gets detained. I mean, what? That fish leapt upstream about a mile.
M80 are forced to save again, and 5 rounds in, it seems like 2G are running away with it. They handled the eco really well. Each member was spread out across the map, posted patiently for the defense to get aggressive. Since they have significantly worse weaponry, it is a good idea to group up, push out, and get proactive. Doing so can get you early info to form better stacks, surprise the offense to get better weapons, but playing like 2G did counters all of that. They were playing back near the buy barriers, waiting for the defense to peak, and do something based off of what they find. Silence even invested in an outlaw. M80 had their hands tied. Now, both teams didn't do much for like the first 30 seconds, kind of just waiting for the other to do something. Then Zap snuffed out Xander, disrespected his body. Then Net tried getting busy, but eventually the offense flipped a coin, decided to stack B. The offense went A, unfortunately, but the defense got to on the initial retake, and it was kind of winnable. At least BCJ thought it was.
He finding a couple eliminations. Okay, this is decent, but the problem is the post plant. Spikes also avoids the mosh pit.
Yeah.
That's enough for him to step up, and of course, makes the defuse does not come through. So 2G.
Are we really popping Thrash against a Brim Molly and a Brim ult still online? Well, now with 3 ults online, M80 should be able to get on the board regardless. Their plan is to have Nat locked down short with his ult, Koala Noob, who's one of the best oppers in the game, fight Shower with his sniper, these two constantly cycling info on B to have rotates in the right spots, and Brim is taking Viper's anchor job in Hookah. And now, in 2G's 2-2-1, they're going to default around the map, find this big fart cloud, pop it, and group up. As soon as the round starts, Nat rips his pit, but 2G don't want him to get too comfy. Zap activates his Trailblazer, and it's charging right up the gut. As soon as it bites Viper, LZ drops his ult right on his head. And Net's forced out, and can't get back in now. There could be anyone in this area. So tail tucked between his legs, he's forced to scurry back into lamps, weakening M80's overall setup. But an Orbital Strike and Trailblazer? That's a big investment. Was it worth a Viper's Pit? In the meantime, Gecko and Raze have poked their way into Hookah, forcing Xander out. Hookah default complete. Next, both players have noticed that Nismo just cleared long. So that's their next stop. A bit of time passes by, and he hasn't spotted anything with his jiggle peaks, but his team needs to have some idea of where the offense are headed and where to keep their 3-stack since their Viper Pit was taken down. So he activates his Trailblazer, but Spike releases Wingman.
And Koala Noob is defaulting to playing contact with the operator to start.
Nismo's about to get tested here towards Long B.
2G have won the battle for long, but with this amount of pressure being created, odds are the third defender is here now. And throughout this entire round, Viper has been waiting patiently outside of Shower. Like, literally, she hasn't moved at all. So with these positions, A is free to split on.
Easy now for 2G to just pinch back on the A side, but again, you have the rocket available for Koala Noob here.
He's going to have to step up and try to hit something here. Dizzy will blind him. Hem still hits, though.
If you're going to use the teleporters on Bind, this is the way you do it. You kind of need to have someone outside of the exit holding space for your team so they can just go. If you don't, you run the risk of the defense being pushed up in unorthodox positions and you getting obliterated. So with 2G's default, they created heavy amounts of pressure on B before instantly splitting A, only running into 2 defenders. But NA's best opper has gotten one and gotten out, despite being blinded, putting them up 4 versus 3, and M80 now wants to punish the plant.
Koala Noob stays safe. Up and over. No, Orbital Strike can be sent down first. Oh, and that's actually some good damage from the Showstopper. Doesn't connect for the kill, but at least put some damage over towards that bench position. Spike has been delayed.
30 seconds
but once again,
left.
Xander caught with the molly off. Nismo tried to catch the corner off the truck, not going to work out. And now you're just down to what Koala Noob can snap on. BCJ trying to follow up. They know they got a player in the corner. Operator exchange for a rifle. 2v2.
Now, the plant was stalled, but we blew a rocket without having any info. Dizzy would have been nice to help aim that thing. And why are we dropping from heaven with our util out again? Somehow, some way, this 4 versus 2.5 has evened itself out, and during the heat of battle, Spike has repositioned. He took down Xander and used Wingman as a distraction to move from triple to truck. It was literally a perfect timing that M80 haven't noticed. And with Prize making his way back into Shower, there's potential he moved back to short. So can M80 piece this puzzle together and defuse in time?
Post plant setup. Advantage for 2G. Who sees who first? Corner for Prize. Gets caught by BCJ. Spikes is low. Bounce pass off the Mosh. Has to try to contest as the Wingman gets to work. Doesn't find anything, though, as it gets denied by the Mosh Pit. Koala Noob shuts down the corner. And plenty of time for BCJ to lock down the defuse. M80 are on the board.
M80 are finally on the board, but that's one too many for 2G, and they've noticed that M80 have resorted to their op crutch. So their objective is to gun it up short with zero chance of an op finding any value. Is Skydog leading the charge, Viper smokes to shield the attackers, triple Brim smokes, and 2 big ultimates that are going to stink up lamps. And while that's going on, Sky's going to late rep Shower and backstab the offense while they're distracted. Now as for M80, their shit wall is back, and both initiators are still long. I don't know, I think they're just trying to keep the flashes together so they can combo them, which is not bad. It's just a lot of info concentrated into one area. Anywho, as soon as the round starts, Zap unleashes his Trailblazer, Xander smokes. Why not just use your wall? I don't know, it just feels like M80 just don't have a solid game plan. Like, why not have Sky post Raze up deep on the line, and then rotate once they figure out no one's there? Or better yet, use the teleporter if the attackers push Shower, and use that Viper wall you've been laying out. If you don't think M80 are confluffled, just keep watching. The offense continued to push up short behind Dizzy, triple smokes for sight, and Raze gains a high vantage point above the chaos as the cabbages give away M80's positions. Those Seekers give Viper the go-ahead to push deep into lamps and get off one of the best ults I've ever seen. Covering spawn, the entirety of U-Haul, and wrapping up the default plant, how do you kill this thing? But despite having all this map control, things are about to get tough. See, when going A on bind, you kinda need showers, as good players are just going to spam the hell out of you when you try to plant. Here, 2G have a big piece of backside, but you can't plant back there, and M80 have 3 defenders ready to spam, 2 of them with mollies. A mosh has been used, and Xander launches his molly, it bounces off something, and 2G go for the plant.
But on the way, Wingman in the cover of smoke will get that down. 5v5.
Really? We couldn't stop the plant? I mean, I guess Sky has a Guardian, but that's what makes this site smoke so strong, being able to stop it. The offense shouldn't be able to plant, especially squishy-ass Wingman. At least BCJ's gotten one through the smoke, but Spike releases Thrash, who's really just a big bait for a bigger shark, Zap. Remember that late lurk I mentioned? Well, earlier in this round, he's dodged his most flash and has slowly crept his way up into shower. And with all the noise his team's been making for him, he definitely has a timing.
That will detain at least a couple players over towards showers. BCJ called upon to have to hold this, see if they can keep their teammates alive. Zap off the pinch, does well to catch Xander. Flashing forward, offense still holds the advantage. You gotta go if you're at 80, you still gotta find a way to clear out this Viper's pit. 2G's making an absolute mess of the site. Flash comes through again, Silence able to connect, and now it's just down to Koala and Net. No chance for Net to do anything playing through Spices, and 2G will get their 7th.
That is so good from 2G.
Each step to 2G's game plan went off without a hitch. They denied the op from getting any value, got off this busted ult, somehow planted, and created the perfect amount of pressure for Zap to get this lurk off with this Thrash and then nade. Zap got his, but didn't get too greedy. That's what separates the good players from the greats. Just by staying alive, you force M80 to create an on-the-fly, impossible decision. Do you chase the guy down, or just focus sight? They chose the second, but it wasn't even coordinated. Gecko flashed without Sky's bird. She flashed herself, I think. Raze has an op and had to clear this pit with it, and you got Viper on a flank who never had a chance to do anything. Wait for him, at least. And when I took a closer look, I think it is nuts how we didn't invest in a Trailblazer or rip our Seekers before anyone was ready to retake this Viper's ult. But I mean, even in the most coordinated setting possible, how are you clearing out this ult and defusing? Alright, it's M80's eco, and they're forcing again. 3 fighting short, facing 2G head on. The bleeding ends here.
In the lead, 7-1.
Oh, we're dealing with a forced buy situation from M80's defense. Stacked up and all! You line them up, you knock them down!
After forcing a whole bunch of times this game, M80 finally saved and got rolled. And now 2G are slowing the pace of the game. They know M80 are getting desperate. Their dreams of making it into franchising are slipping away. So by slowly defaulting across the map in their early 4-1, they're assuming M80 are going to get antsy and slip up, trying to be a hero. And now the defense have finally split up the initiators. Gecko's on short so that whenever Viper's smokes go up, Dizzy can clear them out, while his Brim can test shower, and these 3 can test long and hookah. The round begins, and a bulk of the offense marches up B short, and Zep flashes deep.
When they took the defensive side. So 2G needs also the cleanest defensive round as possible.
Yep.
All right, not a bad start. Koala Noob has gotten the first blood, but given up hookah. And for the first time throughout these 11 rounds, 2G is the one on the back foot. And how do they bounce back? Well, Zap continues the default by dogging up short behind their lurk smokes, but that's canceled by Dizzy, and Prizo creeps closer to shower. Back on B, the offense plan on waiting for the hookah smoke to fade and look for a pick. It eventually drops, but Net jumps boss and sees some anti-attackers. So he raises his wall, signaling to the offense that they won't find anything on B. But on A, look at Prizo. M80 have once again given up showers for free, for some reason, allowing 2G to make their way inside. And throughout this round, Viper's constant pressure with their smokes going up and down has caused chaos in the defense's mind. Maybe they're not confident in Dizzy's reconnaissance, so I don't think that they're worried about shower right now.
In towards mid sands.
Here's the thing though, they've already inserted Prizy inside showers. Almost caught Koala Noob there. Thankfully, Colonial even makes it out quite healthy.
Viper couldn't find a kill, but what she did find was information. Because Gecko is behind Truck trying to figure out whether or not Dizzy cleared those smokes, that means that there's a good chance that no one is in this area. So the attackers have moved their way back to claim this free space, but Thrash is pretty territorial.
And that's going to nullify a little bit of the rotation that they were able to pull out. Still a strong hold that M80 has here, right by you all. Thrash to initiate things, it will get a hit.
Oh, yeah, but it does go right in towards the teleporter, which Koala just dives into.
And this is what desperation smells like. Even if Gecko thought he tagged multiple people, a play like this just isn't necessary with the player advantage. The Thrash diverted the offense through the teleporter, and they were headed right for Viper. I mean, when your hopes and dreams are slipping away, I kinda get it, but now everything is just a fustercluck. Without the extra player, Prize has snuck into backside, and he's calling his teammates to come back to A. While they're on their way, he's snooping around, ready to push spawn, but as soon as BCJ retrieves Thrash, Prize realizes he has an opening.
Here comes Prize. 2G also connecting through long. And it's just no shots are landing right now for M80. It's going to be a spike plant. Nismo trying to deny it. He does at least catch one and stop the plant down to 5 seconds. Follow-up from that is good. 2v2. Do they actually offer these gunfights? Nismo and Xander still trying to hang on, and the clock will expire on the round. M80.
After noticing how much time was left, Nismo saved this round for M80 by rotating as fast as he could to A through the teleporter and stopped the plant. But this round didn't really matter because next round 2G just slammed M80 with a bunch of their ults. Seekers, rocket launcher, big ass space laser, Thrash. When you're facing against this much stuff, you need to get up and disrupt the offense's game plan. Get aggressive. I don't know, do something. They didn't, and M80's dreams of making it to Ascension fizzled out here. On a map they never practiced, getting blown out in front of all their fans. I'm not gonna lie, this game was almost as disappointing as NRG's 5-12 choke that ended their season. That was also tough to watch.